A national institution under fire. The Mounties have a toxic culture that encourages the hatred of women and racist and homophobic attitudes. Those are just some of the findings in a report that takes scathing to an entirely new level. Janet Merlo, originally from Harbour Grace, was one of the plaintiffs who first started to expose problems within the RCMP in a massive and successful lawsuit, and she joins us now from Nanaimo. So, Janet, this report talks about broken lives, broken dreams in its title. How does that title reflect the reality of what you experienced?
It reflects it almost perfectly, actually. The fallout from the harassment has broken many lives and certainly many career dreams of a lot of women.
Some of your experiences actually changed the way you decided to have a family. Can you explain that to us?
When I first got pregnant with my oldest daughter, she's now 27. When that happened, and after a certain point in the pregnancy, I had to be taken off the road because I couldn't be responding to calls with my gun belt and gear and risk losing a pregnancy. So they transfer you into the office and to an office duty. And when I did that and brought in the note from the doctor, I was yelled at and name called, told to get my priorities straight. Either I was going to have a career in the RCMP or I was going to pop out kids my whole life. And it was my first pregnancy, and I was thrilled. And it just took the wind right out of all of that excitement. And for the rest of the pregnancy, I'd go into the office and they'd say, "Oh, Merlo, can you take that call?" Or, "Oh, no, you're knocked up." And when I got back from mat leave, it was like, "Merlo, can you take that call, or are you pregnant again?" And thus we didn't have our second child for 5 years, because 5 years later, because I would not go into that office with another note while those same management people were in power, because I just couldn't do it again. So it changed the order and the timing of even having children. So that's how much it impacted life.
And that's, just one kind of example, but the report actually looks at very serious sexual assaults within the force. What was your reaction to that?
I knew that was coming. I knew that it was a reality within the force because I've heard it for years and heard a lot about it. The only thing that disappointed me was the large number, 131 rapes, which meant there's 131 rapists in the RCMP, or less than that, who've done it with multiple women, and that's very upsetting.
These horrible actions, as discovered by former Chief Justice Bastarash, he seems to say that you can't change the RCMP cannot be changed on its own, because if that was going to happen, it would have happened by now. Do you have any hope that maybe this might result in some change?
If they don't bring in an outside entity to reorganize and restructure the RCMP, the members will be right back in the class action again within a few years. I have lost all hope that they can do it from within, and because they've had ample opportunity. They've known since the 80s that this was a problem, and report after report after report over the years has suggested the very first thing, bring in an outside entity to do this. And if they don't do that, none of the other 51 or 50 recommendations will, you can't, it won't change.
The fact that we have, a female commissioner of the RCMP, does that give you any hope? Is there maybe a greater empathy there than there has been before?
I think there's greater empathy, and I think there's an understanding of the trouble within the force and how toxic it is. On her own, trying to clean it up without the support of the masses behind her, I think her hands are probably going to be tied. And there again, she's been in power for however long now, a couple of years, and there's really been nothing, because I still hear from women who are having trouble in the force. So there's no faith to go to the new leadership. They come to me or come to other women who've been through the legal process asking what their options are.
All right, Ms. Merlo, obviously still a very difficult story. Appreciate your time tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.